huge Texas mansion and ballin' around town in $500,000 whips, I had the head, and it was sure enough big, too. "Don't worry," I told Bunny. "We gotta roll with this setup for right now," I said and grabbed her arm as I pulled her toward a waiting cab. "But trust and believe, this is gonna be our last time slumming around the city in a whoopty, okay? We's paid now, Mommy. Our pockets are swole. As soon as we hit Harlem, I'ma lease us a limo and a driver, too. Bet?" We climbed our booties in the back of the cab and left the driver and the baggage dude standing outside trying to figure out how to cram all our shit in the trunk. It seemed like just yesterday that me and Bunny had climbed in a cab at the Dallas International Airport and headed toward the Dominion Estate, where we were on a mission to pull off the biggest con caper of our grimy little lives. Our crazy misadventure had kicked off when Bunny went shopping at the Foodland up the block from her crib and saw my picture on the back of a carton of milk. The National Center for Missing Children had just started a new campaign aimed at solving some of their biggest cold cases, and a 3-year-old girl named Sable Dominion, a rich little oil heiress who had been kidnapped from a midtown drugstore, was one of the missing kids they were featuring. Dollar signs had started cha-chinging in Bunny's greedy little eyes, and she swore all out the missing chick was me. "Hey now, we gots to go to Texas and get up on that loot," Bunny insisted, as we checked out Sable's age-progressed photos on the internet. "For real, Mink, you look just like that chick. Your own mama couldn't tell y'all apart." Me and Bunny were a slick pair of part-time pole twirlers and full-time con artists, and for the past few years, we had been using our scheming wit and banging bodies to pull off ganks and rack up bank in every borough in the city of New York. We had jumped on the computer and did a few Google searches, and both of us damn near flipped out when we found out that not only was Miss Sable about to come into $100,000 inheritance on her 21st birthday, but if Bunny pretended like she'd found me, she could get a crack at the $25,000 reward money that the Dominions were offering, too. Well, desperate times called for sure enough desperate hustle, and me and Bunny almost burnt the house down trying to cook up a scheme to get our hands on that Dominion cheese. We were broke as hell, and we needed that loot. Not only was Bunny and her brother Peaches about to get booted out of their tenement apartment and have their shit tossed on the curb, but a throwed-off drug dealer named Punchy Collins was trying to slump me for ganking him out of some ends. And I had a shitload of court-ordered fines to pay up real quick, or else a warrant was going to be issued for my arrest. And if that wasn't enough to light a firecracker under my ass, my gangsta boo Gutta was finishing a little bid upstate, and he was about to be back on the streets in a minute, and I do mean on the streets, too. See, when Gutta went to jail, he left me sitting on his stash of 25 G's, and he warned me not to touch that shit. He was planning on using that money to rebuild his drug empire as soon as he hit the bricks. But a cheese-chasing rat like me just couldn't help nibbling. $1,000 here, $5,000 there, shoes, wigs, chronic, krug, jewels, and wild parties. Shit. Me and Bunny had burned through Gutta's cash so fast that before his bid was even halfway over, his laid-out crib was a wrap, and so was all his paper. So I had been stuck between nothing and nothing, and pulling off a hustle to steal Sable's $100,000 was my last crapshoot, my final shot at street redemption. I was a con mommy, a grifter, a fraud master to the highest degree, and me and Bunny had used every flim-flam in the book to convince those super-rich black folks down in Dallas that I was really the kidnapped daughter that they had lost so long ago. We had busted up in their mansion in the middle of their 4th of July barbecue, and trust me when I tell you, we popped off a New York-sized explosion up in that joint. Shit. Them Texas folks didn't know what to do with me as I laid my slick Harlem flow on their asses. In no time at all, I had Sable's mother, Selah, eaten out of the palm of my hand, and my fine-ass play uncle Shug to me.